we're very, very lucky also to have with us as an additional major speaker tonight a representative of the Grannies for Peace. And to introduce her is Susan Nickerson. So Susan, come on up.
The Grannies Peace Brigade. Joan Weil is our wonderful, indefatigable 77-year-old member of the Granny Peace Brigade and the founder of the worldwide organization Grandmothers Against the War, which coincidentally is the title of her new book, which she will now discuss.
It's a great pleasure to be back in Princeton. The Granny Peace Brigade was very honored 2 years ago to get the Peace Action Patriot of the Year award. I remember. I didn't need reminding. No, it's one of our proudest achievements. I feel a little bit like an imposter because this is the major issue of our times, nuclear proliferation, and the Granny Peace Brigade focused really practically only on trying to end the war in Iraq. So it's a little off subject what I'm going to discuss. But anyway, well, I think so. We're passionately opposed to nuclear proliferation, of course, and we have so many reasons to oppose the occupation of Iraq. But certainly one of the most important is the fact that this immoral and horrible war distracts from the all-important issue of ridding the world of nuclear weapons. So there is a connection, I think. Since our last visit, I've written a book, Grandmothers Against the War, Getting Off Our Fannies and Standing Up for Peace.
All right.
Published 2 months ago by Citadel Press. A few copies are available, as Reverend Moore pointed out, and I will give a personal autograph to anybody who wants the book. This book essentially says two things. One, grandmothers have been in the forefront of the anti-war movement as never before. And two, you can matter and be productive, even change the world your entire life, even into your 90s. We have a number of grannies in our group to prove that claim. 2 very active members are 93 years of age. I'm not kidding. Basically, the book tells about the events leading up to, during, and following the arrest of 18 of us grandmothers who tried to enlist at the Times Square recruiting station in New York City. Our purpose was to try to replace America's grandchildren in harm's way in Iraq for absolutely no reason except Bush and Cheney's evil schemes. We wanted them to enjoy a long life as we've been privileged to have. Our goal thereby was to draw public attention to the need to end the occupation of Iraq and bring the troops home. We seized the moment, took the First Amendment seriously, and exercised our right to engage in nonviolent civil disobedience. We actually spent a little time in jail for that protest. As a result of a great deal of publicity that we received for that action and our subsequent 6-day trial in criminal court, can you imagine, where we were acquitted thanks largely to our wonderful defense attorneys, Norman Siegel. Do you know that name here? Yeah, wonderful, wonderful man, yeah. And his co-counsel, Earl Ward. We became symbols of the peace movement and felt obliged to capitalize on our small notoriety and create more and more events to promote our cause. Our purpose was a very serious one, as we tried to stop the deaths and maiming of Iraqi people and our own military. But despite the grim subject of our protests, we had some fun and excitement too, which I've detailed in the book. One of the funnier moments had to be when we sat down on the concrete ground in front of the Times Square Recruiting Center when we were denied entrance. Some of us must have looked like lumbering elephants as we tried to negotiate sitting down despite our hip and knee replacements. And I have one. And various forms of arthritis and all those old lady things. Even more amusing was the sight of us trying to stand up again. So difficult for some that the police had to help us. One cop literally lifted me up by my armpits. This was a perfect example, I think, of our serious aims, but with its many funny aspects too. Among our many actions is our weekly vigil at Rockefeller Center, our travels to Germany, to England, to Venezuela, the planning and carrying out of many colorful demonstrations, protests, and our performances. Yes, we perform. We sing, we dance, we act in our own plays, we do comedy routines. Read all about it in the book. One of our grannies, very funny, Carol Houston, does a comedy routine as Barbara Bush, not to be missed.